Hello, I am Farrell at iHeartRadio, and I am going to dive into the box. Oh, I'm going to grab this first. You see this picture? This is the great David Bowie. I have a crazy story about this. When I first started in entertainment, I started out impersonating David Bowie and Mick Jagger and Frank Sinatra. And so what I did was, and this was all really on a lark, I worked for a liquor distributor, and so I would go around dropping off liquor at nightclubs. And this lady that had the entertainment for the nightclub asked me if I was a model. And so I lied and I said, well, yes, I am a model, and I also can sing and dance and act too. And so she gave me a job, and I told her, I can make your nightclub really cool. What I'll do is I'll do these impersonations. So I came out, I went like this, and then I took the record away, and it was me, right? And I was dressed up like David Bowie. And then I got carried away. It was actually my friend's record. So I got so excited, it was my first show. I went like this, took it away, and then the song started, and I whipped the record, and my friend, whose record it was, lost his shit. I felt so bad, but I couldn't take it back. It just went whizzing out into the crowd. It looked great, except they didn't all own the record. But that's the record. Aladdin Sane. Isn't that funny? That was the start of my entertainment career. Porno, Pyros, Porno, Pyros. This album cover was made in about 2 or 3 days in my kitchen. I'll tell you what things are made of, and you really dig it even more. So the names were made out of clay. When I was a little kid, me and my big brother would make models. And so we would basically get monster models or car models, and then we would paint them with this super noxious paint that gets other people really, really high today. But I never sniffed that stuff, but I knew how to use it. So, and these are beads. The explosions are actually little beads I found, and then I painted in the beads. If you look real close at the end of the ship, it's actually an orange juice squeezer. Now I can tell you. So it's like, you know, that's those little contraptions that you squish oranges and then mix orange juice. That's what that is. And then that's a pitcher to pour the orange juice in. So there you go. That's a little insight on the album, our first album from Porno for Pyros. And so, because that's my record cover. Wow. This is quite a lineup. Jane's Addiction, Susie and the Banshees and Jane's Addiction, and Living Color, and 9 Inch Nails, Ice-T, Butthole Surfers, and the Rollins Band. I'll tell you, that's quite a motley crew right there. But we changed history. People have asked me recently, you know, alternative, what is alternative? How did you get the title alternative? How did you become the godfather of alternative? And there is a history, a background, and a reason we were called alternative. It has to do with energy. See, back in those days, really the idea of alternative energy started around the late 70s, early 80s. And by the time Jane's Addiction and these fellas and ladies came up, people were talking a lot about alternative energy. So simultaneous to that conversation, we were looking at the record industry, and it was very stale and needed replacing and needed alternative ideas. Hence came alt rock, alternative rock, and that's how I became the godfather of alternative rock. You know, I'm gonna pull this out next. Oh, what is that? Oh, what? Oh, that was Pollywog. Pollywog was this incredible female DJ out of San Francisco. She sat in a high tower. She would do kind of like interstitial, drop beats. We had it all going on. That was 1997. There was Flea and Dave Navarro, and they were in the Chili Peppers for a few years. And Flea came on to perform with us, and that show, I think, was New York City when we were doing, it was Halloween MTV. So they had these big cranes in the room, and the MTV crowd got so into it, they climbed up on the crane like that. There were mosh pits going off. It was really cool. And these kids climbed up on the crane to destroy MTV. And they did too, man. They bounced on the damn thing until the crane kind of came down. You can't do that anymore. This looks like it's recently because I see my buddies, Brad Wilkes and Tom Morello. So this must be for the Chris Cornell Memorial kind of concert that just went down where, oh my God, Metallica, the Foo Fighters, Tom and the cats from Audioslave / Rage all got together. That was the second time I'd ever sung any Chris Cornell. Yeah, we once did a cover together, a Cure cover together. We all first met up. I mean, I knew Tom. I used to piss in the alleyways back in LA back in the 80s with Tom Morello before we do shows. I mean, we go that far back. But, and Chris, I met, might have been the second Lollapalooza or the third Lollapalooza. But of course, their reputation, Soundgarden's reputation, was very heavy in LA back in those days. Oh yeah, so we got together in 2003. We brought Lollapalooza back together. It was Audioslave, Jane's Addiction, Queens of the Stone Age. That was kind of some of the highlights, right? And isn't that funny? So can you imagine me and Chris singing a Cure song? Look what I've got. So I'm in Venice Beach in my house. Get a bang on the door. I have my little boy. I thought he could handle it. I go answer the door and tell him your daddy's not here. So he opens the door, and it's Catherine Hardwicke's boyfriend. So Catherine Hardwicke was the first director of Twilight. Catherine Hardwicke's boyfriend comes to my house cold to ask if I would sing on Twilight. So I have my little boy. I'm hiding behind the door. So I'm like this, and there's the door. And then he goes, my daddy says to tell you that he's not here, right? What? And then he would say something like, well, when's he gonna be back? They wanna know when you're gonna be back. So eventually I kind of came out from behind the door. I'm like, man, what are you doing? I did it. I knew nothing about Twilight, what it was going to become. And it was fun. I got to record it with Etty, and we did this sexy video for it that they rejected because it was too sexy. But I had like pomegranates, and I had chicks laying around, man, with pomegranate juice, squeezing pomegranate juice on them. I didn't know what Twilight was really about. It was like a lovely young ladies movie. And I was going at it like, man, I'm a vampire and I'm gonna suck your blood. And it is, last but not least, actually this is the future. It's the kind heaven. And I have a story to tell you about the image itself. This is an image of the goddess Tara. The goddess Tara is the female Buddha. And this goddess is known around the world in many different denominations. People love her. And she's usually surrounded by something that would be considered a halo. But I used the backdrop of, you know, the link in Las Vegas, the Ferris wheel. That's actually what it is. It's the Ferris wheel of Las Vegas. And she is in Las Vegas as a blow-up art piece, figurine of a goddess. And just to make it a little bit more fun, I put her in a kind of an S&M rubber suit, because it goes with the whole aspect of blow up. And plus, I kind of like jiggling booties. I hope you do too.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos from your favorite artist. And while you're here, check out these other videos.